Hafidades and Mananasitsuas, to my colleagues here this morning. The Committee on Rules hereby calls this meeting to order. For the record, today is Thursday, September 15th, and the time is now 10:20 in the morning. Committee on Rules Director, Ms. Mary Maravilla, could we please take roll call of the members at this time?
Chairperson Vice Speaker Barnes.
Mananasitsuas Kaigia.
Vice Chair Legislative Secretary Shelton. Speaker Terlahi. Senator Nelson. Senator San Augustine. Senator Rangel. Senator Terlahi. Senator Perez. Senator Blas. Senator Torres. Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
Sijuas Masi, Director Maravilla. Does the chair hear a motion to excuse members not present?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Is there a second? Okay. It has been moved by Vice Chair Secretary Shelton and seconded by Senator Torres to excuse the members not present. Are there any objections? Seeing or hearing none, motion carries. Does the chair hear a motion to ratify the Committee on Rules meeting minutes from May 11th, 2022 and May 18th, 2022, which can both be found in the Google Drive folder for this meeting titled 01 Meeting Minutes?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. It has been moved by Vice Chair Legislative Secretary Shelton and seconded by Senator Mary Torres, subject to corrections, to ratify the Committee on Rules meeting minutes from May 11th, 2022 and May 18th, 2022. Are there any objections? Seeing or hearing none, motion carries. Colleagues, the first item on the Committee on Rules business is an update on the document tracking. I will now have our Vice Chair Legislative Secretary to provide her report, which can be found in the Google Drive folder for this meeting titled 02 Legislative Secretary Report. Vice Chair, Secretary Shelton.
Sijuas Masi, Madam Chair, Hafaday colleagues, the Legislative Secretary report to date is as follows. Appointments made by the Governor. There are 120 appointments submitted by Governor Lulian Guerrero to date. There was one appointment confirmed during our February 2021 session, 14 appointments confirmed in March 2021, 8 appointments confirmed April 2021, 7 appointments confirmed May 2021, 7 appointments confirmed July 2021, 13 appointments confirmed August 2021, 10 appointments confirmed September 2021, 3 appointments confirmed during the October 2021 session, 12 appointments confirmed in the December 2021 session, 10 appointments during the January 2022 session, 8 appointments during the February 2022 session, 1 appointment in March, 2 appointments in April, 2 appointments in May, 0 appointments confirmed in June and July sessions, and 5 appointments confirmed during our August 2022 session, with a total of 103 appointments confirmed. Of the remaining 17 appointments, there are some pending confirmation, 4 have been withdrawn, and 3 have extended beyond the authorized 90-day term limit. There are currently 25 zone change requests at this time, and 11 rules and regulations requests. Bills have been introduced, 4 are now law, and 2 approved by default. Sijuas Masi, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair. Now we go to item number B, ratifications of referrals, re-referrals as of September 15, 2022. So next item on this business is the ratification of referrals. The referral bills, appointments, and resolutions are indicated each of the corresponding logs, which can be found on the Google Drive folder for this morning titled 03 Legislative Item Logs. For the record, colleagues, an emergency session was called for Bill 325-36 COR, and the bill was passed and is now Public Law 36-106. Does the chair hear a motion to ratify the referrals for bills numbers 305 36 LS to 334-36 COR.
Madam Chair, I move to ratify the referrals of bill numbers 305-36 through 334-36 COR.
Is there a second to that?
On the motion.
There's a second by Majority Leader Nelson. It has been moved by the Vice...
On the motion?
On the motion? Yes.
Thank you, Madam
Speaker
Chair.
Terlahi.
Thank you. I just want to put on the record, in regards to the referral bill 311-36, this is introduced by Senator Blas. It's an act to create a new Chapter 25 of Title I Guam Code annotated to establish a Guam Criminal Law and Procedure Review Commission for the purpose of updating Title 8 and Title 9 of the Guam Code annotated. This was referred on June 6 to the Committee on General Government Operations, Appropriations, and Housing, and the public hearing was held on July 11th. I wrote a letter on July 7th to the Committee on Appropriations Chair, asking that Bill 311-36 be re-referred to the Committee on Justice after his committee determines the sufficiency of the funding source listed in the bill, because it is almost identical to Bill 146-36 that was referred to the Committee on Justice and had a hearing and then was withdrawn. The difference in the two bills is a $250,000 appropriation. The Committee on Rules was CC'd on the letter to the Committee on Appropriations as well. When examining Bill 146-36 and versus the newly introduced Bill 311-36, it is noted that there are no substantive differences between the two bills apart from an appropriation. And it would be in contravention of the spirit of committee work and our rules if a mere $250,000 appropriation to the judiciary tagged onto a substantive bill will allow the bill to bypass the committee with primary jurisdiction of the matter, particularly when the substance of the bill proposes to update much of the codes found in Title 8 and 9 of the Guam Code annotated, which have a tremendous impact on our criminal law, criminal procedures, and criminal justice system. Per Section 6.01D1 of the Standing Rules of the 36th Guam Legislature, quote, the Committee on Appropriations shall be required to review all appropriation, authorization for appropriations, or tax benefit bills referred to the Committee on Appropriations with the assistance of the Office of Finance and Budget to determine the viability of the funding source in the proposed appropriation, authorization for appropriations, or tax benefit bills. The Committee on Appropriations and/or the Office of Finance and Budget shall determine in writing if the funding source cited in the appropriation, authorization for appropriation, or tax benefit bills are sufficient. Only after such written determination is provided, the chairperson of the Committee on Appropriations may refer said appropriation, authorization for appropriation, or tax benefit bills to the principal committee with subject matter jurisdiction. So I just wanted to put that on the record that I have requested that re-referral because of those reasons, and that has also been sent to the Committee on Rules. Sizus Masi. Otherwise, I have no objection to the motion.
Duly noted, Madam Speaker. So on the motion, are there any objections? Seeing or hearing none. Motion carries. Moving right along. Does the chair hear a motion to ratify the referral of appointments? Vice Chair?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Is there a second? There's a second by the Majority Leader. Are there any objections to ratify the referrals of executive appointments? Seeing or hearing none. Motion carries. Does the chair hear a motion to ratify referrals of resolutions?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Is there a second? There's a second. There's a motion made by the Vice Chair and seconded by Senator Torres. Are there any objections? Seeing or hearing none. Motion carries. We will now move to the consideration of items eligible for placement on the session agenda. Members, the committee reports for the following items have been duly filed with the Committee on Rules and is available on our website. Before I do entertain any motions to place the items on the agenda, I will just note for the record that as of this morning at 10 o'clock, the only other pending items, resolutions or bills that were referred to the Committee on Rules and is still in for review so that you have note of it. It's Bill number 292-36 LS, is sponsored by Majority Leader Senator Talina Nelson. Bill number 303-36 COR is amended by the Committee on General Government Operations, Appropriations, and Housing as introduced by Senator Tony Atta. And then the appointment of Carlin R.C.G. Borja as member of the Guam Education Board, which would fulfill the discipline of a parent of a student currently enrolled in DOE. Again, colleagues, these three measures are in the Committee of Rules that are being reviewed at this time, and hopefully will be uploaded and complete its filing. So at this time, are there any motions to place these into the Committee of the Rules? I'll go ahead and start with my Vice Chair. Thank you, Senator Bliss. Vice Chair, do you have any bills or?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to place Bill number 219-36 as amended by the Committee on Public Accountability, Human Resources, the Guam Buildup, Hagåtña Revitalization, Regional Affairs, Public Libraries, Telecommunications and Technology, introduced by myself, Tina Rose Muña Barnes, Talina Cruz Nelson, Mary Camacho Torres, Telo T. Tidegui, Frank Blas Jr., Joanne Brown, and V. Anthony Atta, an act to amend Section 41210A and B, and to add a new Section 41210G, all of Article 2, Chapter 41, Title 17, Guam Code Annotated, relative to the certification of severe disability as an impediment to employment for individuals with disabilities onto the session agenda.
There is a second by Senator Mary Torres. Are there any objections? Seeing or hearing none, motion carries.
And
Vice Chair, you still have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I'd like to make mention of a potential item to be placed. I know this bill is being routed right now by the Committee on General Government Operations, and that is an act to Bill number 257-36, introduced by myself, Joe S. San Agustin, Teresa M. Terlahi, Tina Rose Muña Barnes, Mary Camacho Torres, and Clinton E. Rigel, an act to increase the cost of living allowance payments for Government of Guam retirees and to appropriate $15,945,600 from the General Fund to the Department of Administration, DOA, for fiscal year 2023. And so I'd just like to make mention that that's a potential item to place. This was a issue that we addressed in the budget bill last month, but there are other parts to the bill that we hope to put on the session floor this month.
Can you just give me that number again so I can note it?
Yes, ma'am. It's bill number 257-36, LS.
Are there anything else? Duly noted. Are there anything else, Vice Chair? If not, Speaker Terlahi, you're recognized at this time.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I'd like to make a motion to place Bill number 277-36 as amended by the Committee on Health, Land, Justice, and Culture. It is an act to add a new Article 2 to Chapter 75A of Title 21, Guam Code Annotated, relative to authorizing the Chamorro Land Trust Commission to enter into commercial submerged lands license agreements and to be known as the Guam Undersea Access for Homes Act, GUAHA.
On that motion, is there a second? There's a second by Senator Rigel. Are there any objections? Seeing or hearing none, motion carries. Speaker Terlahi, you're still recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd also like to make an additional motion that that bill be placed on the top of the agenda. There are leases that are pending or expiring that this bill may give CLTC the tools to handle that, so I'd like to ask that that be considered first on our agenda.
There is a motion to place it. No objection. Is there a second? There's a second by Senator Frank Blas and a Majority Leader. Are there any objections? Seeing or hearing none, motion carries. Speaker Terlahi, you still have the floor.
Thank you very much. I'd like to make a motion to place Bill 278-36. This is an act to amend 75A124 of Chapter 75A, Title 21, Guam Code Annotated, relative to the Chamorro Land Trust Survey and Infrastructure Fund.
What number is that?
278.
Yes, is there a second to that? There's a second. Second by Senator Sabina, are there any objections? Seeing or hearing none, motion carries. Speaker Terlahi, you still have the floor.
Thank you very much. I'd like to make a motion to place Bill number 309-36 as amended by the Committee on Health, Land, Justice, and Culture. This is an act to amend Section 12212G, Article 2, Chapter 12, Title 10, Guam Code Annotated, relative to ensuring persons or entities who have reported are promptly informed of Guam Board of Medical Examiners' actions. 309.
On that motion, is there a second? There's a second by the Majority Leader. Are there any objections to that motion? Seeing none, motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I
Speaker, you're still recognized.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to put on the potentials list, Bill number appointments of David Herrera to serve as a member of the Chamorro Land Trust Commission, Dr. Marilyn Salas to serve as a member of the COSAS Museum Board of Advisors, and Mike Crisostomo to serve as a member of the Criminal Injuries Compensation Commission. These are all set for a hearing on
Yeah,
September 20.
thank you. Speaker, so that it hasn't been heard yet, or?
No, they're set for hearing on September 20. So I'd like to
Okay.
put them on the
Potential.
potential list, please, yes.
So-
That's my motion.
Thank you, duly noted, appreciate it. You still have the floor for any appointments or resolutions, ma'am.
Okay.
Please proceed.
That's it for now.
Thank you. At this time, I will recognize Majority Leader. Nelson, Senator Nelson, you're recognized, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to make a motion to move Bill number 292, which is an act to amend subsection 73203, subsection 73204, and subsection 73205 of Article 2, Chapter 73, Title 5, Guam Code Annotated, relative to charges for carrier off-duty services of customs and quarantine officers to further establish a customs career off-duty service, customs administrative processing fee. It's submitted to CORE on 9/12 and under review, so that's just so we
Right.
make sure that we acknowledge that it's a potential bill to
Yes,
put out.
it was one of the ones that I noted that it's in committee, and I will
Thank
make
you.
that a duly noted one, but know that that is a potential because it's already in the committee
Thank you.
on rules. Thank you. Anything else, Majority Leader? You're still
Yes,
recognized.
this next bill is also in a similar situation within the committee, but I don't believe it's in the Committee on Rules, it's in the Office of Finance and Budget. So just a bill that we'd like to move is Bill number 298-36LS, which is an act to amend Section 4 Alpha of Public Laws 34-70 and 35-44 relative to the financing or refinancing improvements and capital improvement projects of the Jose D. Leon Guerrero Commercial Port and other related facilities and other operations of the port through revenue bond proceeds.
Thank you, Majority Leaders, duly noted on that one. Is there anything else, Majority Leader?
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. We have Resolution 343-36 COR, which is relative to Imanay Trantaysay Nalasator Guahan, the 36th Guam Legislature, for the passage of H.R. 6823, the Elizabeth Dole Home and Community-Based Services for Veterans and Caregivers Act of 2022, which seeks to expand veterans' access to home caregivers by providing a critical investment in caregiver support at the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs.
Is that resolution?
Yes, it's been approved by CORE and uploaded onto the website.
What's the number again?
343-36 COR.
Hold that thought.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you very much. It's,
Oh,
the
oh,
motion
thank you,
is there.
Madam Chair.
It's there. Is there a second to that? Second. Second by Senator Frank Blas. Are there any objections? Seeing or hearing none? Motion carries.
And then
Majority Leader?
there is another bill that I would like to move, but it's stuck in the committee, and that's bill number, well, it's not stuck in committee, it's pending votes within the committee, and that's bill number 291-36LS. which is an act to adding new Chapter 91 Bravo to Division 4 of Title 10 of the Guam Code annotated, relative to abortion, including abortions after detection of an unborn child's heartbeat, authorizing a private civil right of action. And so that's still pending votes, but if that should be referred out of the committee, even the senators are within that committee, we'll vote on it. That is a prospective bill to add. And then,
Thank you, Majority Leader. That bill has not been submitted to court.
That's
yet.
correct.
If I could add,
Duly noted.
yeah, I just want the record to reflect also that that's correct. The committee report has been routed, actually, wait,
yes.
it's, committee report was first routed on May 17, but did not receive enough votes to report out. The report was then updated and has been routing since June 3rd, 2022. It's still pending enough committee votes to report it out according to our standing rules.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else, Majority Leader Nelson?
Yes, I'd also like to move the appointment of Carlin Borja to serve on the Guam Education Board. Let me just read it.
Thank you very much. And that also, Majority Leader Nelson, will be noted for the potentials as soon as it's uploaded and given it's 24 hours, we will put that on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything
Madam
else?
Speaker. No, that is all. Thank you.
And then we will work right now with our Majority Whip. Senator Parrish, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to place Bill 284-36 LS as amended by the Committee on Environment, Revenue, and Taxation, Labor, Procurement, Statistics, Research, and Planning, sponsored by myself, Senator Teleti Taitigui, Jose Pito Terlahi, and Vice Speaker Tina Rose Muña Barnes. It's an act to amend Article 3 of Chapter 51, Title 10, Guam Code Annotated, and amend Articles 3 of Chapter 24, Division 4, Title 22, Guam Rules and Regulations relative to promoting recycling and zero waste initiatives.
Is there a second to that? This has been seconded by Senator Rajel. Are there any objections? Hearing none. Motion carries. Senator Parrish, you still have the floor.
That concludes my motions. Thank
Any
you.
appointments or resolutions?
No.
Thank you very much. Senator Rachel, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have two bills I'd like to list as potential items to add to the agenda.
Please proceed.
All right, the first is Bill number 191-36 COR as amended by the Committee on Economic Development, Agriculture, Power, and Energy, Utilities, and the Arts, an act to amend subsection 3402 of Article 4, Chapter 3, Division 1, Title 9, Guam Administrative Rules and Regulations relative to allowing wild deer to be taken and harbored as livestock. The bill's being routed for signatures to be reported out of my committee. And then, of course, pending that clearance through CORE, I'd like to add this as a potential item to the agenda.
Duly noted. Senator Rajel, you still have the floor. Thank you.
Okay, one more bill. This is bill number, one moment. Bill number 333-36 COR, an act to add new item D to subsection 401092 and to add a new item 6 to subsection 40118, both of the Guam Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, Title 10, Guam Code, annotated relative to cannabis content in edible and cosmetic cannabis products. The public hearing for this bill has been scheduled. It's in Speaker Terlahi's committee. She scheduled the public hearing for this coming Tuesday, so if it is able to make it through the public hearing and out of committee on time, I'd like to include this as a potential item to the session agenda.
Duly noted, Senator Rajel. Thank you very much. Is there anything else?
That's all I have at this time,
Any
Madam
appointments,
Chair.
resolutions?
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you so
Thank you.
very much. Senator Pito Terlahi, por favor, consigue muna. Uncle, go ahead and turn on your mic, please. Please proceed.
Can I do that?
On a motion for bill number what?
Motion to place on the session agenda Bill 137-36 COR,
Yes, sir.
introduced by myself, Tina Rose Muña Barnes, Clinton E. Rajel, Mary Camacho Torres, is an act to appropriate funds to the Governor of Guam Retirement Funds to conduct a study relative to enhanced benefit for uniformed personnel in the defined benefit 1.75 retirement system.
Is there a second to that motion? There's a second by Senator Torres and Nelson. Are there any objections? No objections. Motion carries. Senator Pito Terlahi, you're still recognized.
Not at this time, Madam Chair.
Situ Asmasi. Senator Mary Torres, you are recognized. At that time, Senator Frank Blas, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'd like to be able to move a couple bills here on behalf of my colleagues. First one is Bill number 259-36LS, as amended by the Committee on Economic Development, Agriculture, Power, and Energy Utilities and the Arts, introduced by Senator Teleti Tadigui, Amanda L. Shelton, Sabina F. Perez, Joanne Brown, myself, Frank F. Blas Jr., and Jose Pito Terlahi. Act on Guma Group Use Manamco Accommodations Incentive Act, an act to add a new Article 3 to Chapter 58, Title 12, Guam Code Annotated, relative to establishing new special qualifying certificate incentives for the development of elderly residential living housing comprising of independent living, assisted care, and nursing home and accommodations.
Is there a second to that? There's a second by Senator Perez. Are there any objections? Hearing none. Motion carries. Senator Frank, you're still recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As you had noted earlier, Bill number 303-36 COR that was introduced by Senator V. Anthony Ada, which is an act to add new section 849-1.16 to Chapter 8, Title 1G, Guam Code Annotated, relative to the designation of a portion of Route 4 as 7 Heroes of Maleso Highway. As you noted earlier, Madam Chair, it's in court, it's under review, and I'd like to be able to place that into consideration.
Thank you. Again, it is in Committee on Rules Review, so duly noted. Senator Frank Blas, thank you very much for that. Anything else?
Oh, one last bill, and I'm going to move it anyways. It's Bill number 231-36LS, as amended by the Committee on Economic Development, Agriculture, Power, and Energy Utilities and the Arts, introduced by Senator James C. Moylan, Tino Rose Muña Barnes, Joe S. Augustine, Christopher Andres, and V. Anthony Ada, which is an act to amend subsection 58202 and 58203 of Article 2, Chapter 58, Title 12, Guam Code Annotated, relative to amending the special qualifying certificate for hotel room development to include renovations. I think this was a discussion already in the previous budget bill, but just to be safe, put it on the agenda. If
On that motion, Bill 231-36LS. 231-36LS, the committee report has been uploaded and is in. Is there a second to that motion? Is there a second to that motion? There is a second. Is there any objection? Hearing none. Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And that's all I have.
Thank you. I will go ahead and yield back to Speaker Therese Terlahi for the,
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I could make one more motion, that's for a potential item. That's for Bill 334, which is an act to add a new Article 3A to Chapter 1, Division 1, Title 26, Guam Administrative Rules and Regs, relative to adoption of rules and regs for child placement agencies. The hearing is scheduled for September 20, 2022.
thank you. Is there-
Bill
Rules-
334, it's the rules and regs for child placement agencies.
Thank you very much, Speaker Terlahi. That is duly noted. Appreciate that. So right now, I will ask, because of the listings of of bills and resolutions and appointments, does the chair hear a motion to place these items on the session and agenda?
So moved, Madam Chair.
It's been moved. Is there a second? Second by Senator Rangel, to place all items as listed on the potential, as listed to the session agenda. Are there any objections? Motion carries.
Madam Chair.
I think just for the record, I'd ask also, just to make sure if there's a motion for both resolutions and appointments at this time, please.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Is there a second? Second by Majority Leader for resolution and appointments to be placed on the session agenda. Are there any objections? Hearing none. Seeing none, motion carries. And now,
I have a motion, Madam Chair.
yes,
Yeah.
Speaker.
Another motion to be added to the session agenda under motions, an item 10, which will be placed on the session agenda after the list of vetoed bills. That would read 10, motion to place on the session agenda from the potential items listing. And that way we give notice when we publish our agenda that there are potential items attached as well.
There's a second to that. Are there any objections? Hearing none. Motion carries. At this time, with the placement of bills and resolutions and appointments in the second reading and this appointment of the legislative concurrence, is there a motion to adopt the session agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second by Senator Rangel. Are there any objections? Hearing none. Thank you. Motion carries. We are now at extension of remarks. Are there anyone wishing to speak on extension of remarks? If not, does the chair hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Madam Chair.
And seconded by Senator Rangel, as proffered by the Vice Chair, Secretary Shelton. Are there any objections? Hearing no and seeing no objections. Motion carries. We are adjourned at 10:53 a.m. Undankula na si Zeus Masi.